Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia, you were in the barbershop getting your hair cut when you saw the press conference. According to the president, they did not, this administration did not warn Congress because you leak information. Because of the War Powers Act, within 48 hours of this action against Venezuela, Congress must be notified. Let's first start talking about how real the barbershop is. When this was going down, what were you hearing in the barbershop? What were the people saying?
Well, first off, a couple of the barbers in the shop voted for Trump. And so it was particularly satisfying for me to be in their presence as we all watched, what was happening at the press conference and Trump acting like a buffoon. It was really maddening to me.
Black barbers, black male barbers?
Yes.
Okay.
It was maddening to have to sit there and watch that kind of a performance, and then looking at Pete Hexpeth and Raising Cain, and Marco Rubio. But to get to your point, April, those guys in the barbershop immediately started talking about the fact that this is not about drugs, this is about oil. And nothing could be more true about this act of war. We have actually gone to war. We have engaged in an act of war with a sovereign nation by invading that nation, dropping bombs and killing people. We've not heard about who or how many were killed, and the property destruction that was done. But we do know that the place was bombed, and then the leader of the sovereign nation, however illegitimate he may be, was kidnapped.
Yes.
And taken away. And so
brought to the United States, apparently.
he's on it. They say he's on his way to New York to face
Yes.
a indictment that was newly returned under the Pam Bondi Justice Department, a flam excuse to waste taxpayer dollars. No telling how many billions of dollars have gone into this arrest of that leader in his nation and his wife, by the way. No telling how much taxpayer money was spent on that. But Pam Bondi has indicted the two for allegedly trafficking and narco-terrorism of cocaine into this country. And so, we'll see how our jury system works. I hope that the Maduros get excellent attorneys, and let's let justice be what it is here. But the bottom line is, this is not about drugs. This invasion was about oil and control of oil and gas, and also rare earth materials, which are abundant in that sovereign nation. We're going to take it over and install a puppet regime in its place. It's American imperialism at the max. I'm ashamed.
So Donald Trump says we are going to be running Venezuela in the meantime, and they're taking over the oil factories. Where they get the oil, and they're going to work with making it better. And we're going to get the profit. The bottom line is America
does not we, they, the select few up at the top.
In America, we get oil from all around the world, and Venezuela is one of those countries. Now, this kind of reminds me way back in the day of the second war in Iraq. Remember that? Dick Cheney talking about the oil, getting the oil, and we never did that because everyone said that's not right. We should not profit off of this. But speaking of the oil and thinking about what you were hearing in your barbershop where all the barbers, with the black male barbers and some that had voted for Trump, and they said this is all about oil. Here's what you tweeted. With Trump focused on oil profits and making Venezuela great again, and that's exactly what Trump said, making Venezuela great again, he has bogged down American taxpayers with a costly foreign occupation while destabilizing global security, sending an unmistakable green light for China to invade Taiwan. Trump's chaos is now worldwide. Worldwide.
Yeah.
And again, all of this without informing or consent from Congress. This brings in the War Powers Act. We are not a country that in the past, we're not supposed to be doing regime change. That is what we're doing in this moment. We're getting oil profits, according to the president, from a country that we have taken over because of alleged drug problems, right? We know there are drugs that come in, but alleged because there's an indictment, alleged, that's a legal word. And we're talking about this with Congressman Hank Johnson out of Georgia, who formerly served, he was a former member of the House Armed Services Committee. And let's talk about this part. Speaking of your former work on the House Armed Services Committee, the president's talking about boots on the ground, and we're not talking about the line dance. He's talking about boots on the ground in Venezuela. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it means death and loss of treasure to United States citizens. It means their loved ones are at some point going to be put in harm's way to protect the generation of oil profits, which will go not to the people of Venezuela who own the oil reserves, which, by the way, the largest oil reserves on earth are in Venezuela. 303 billion barrels of oil. That is what has Trump's eyes blinded with dollar signs, those oil reserves. And so, you know, what we're doing is putting young people, male, and as much as Pete Hegseth wants to get all females out of the military or not give them any credit for being in the military, they're there. And it will be male and females who are losing their lives to protect the profits of the oil barons. And we all know who they are: Exxon, Mobil, and all of the others. You know, so we're going down that road again that we went down in the second Iraq War, a occupation. Colin Powell said, when you
The
break it,
late
you
Colin
own
Powell.
it.
Yeah. Say that
And
again. Colin Powell said what?
he said, when you break it, you own it.
And
And
why did George Bush, why, when one of the reasons why Barack Obama won is because people wanted change and they were war weary. They were tired of occupation. Am I correct?
it cost us so much money and it cost so many lives, and it did not accomplish the objective that they sought, which was to control the oil. And so maybe they have a different plan for capturing the oil and making sustained profits off of it. Uh, but it's going to be very costly. And as you pointed out earlier, no congressional authorization for this use of our
Yeah.
military for this war. And make no mistake about it, it was an act of war. We don't have to wait until we get attacked in order to declare war. War can be declared when we are initiating an attack on a foreign nation, and that's exactly what this was. And so the War Powers Resolution definitely comes into play here. And so far, this has been an illegal war, and it's going to continue. Trump has said that we're going to own this place. We're going to run it. He said, we're going to run it. They're going to run it into the ground. They're going to run it into the ground for American taxpayers and for the poor people of Venezuela, whose average per capita income is like $3,100 a month. I mean, a year. $3,100 a year. It's a poor
$3,100 a year.
$3,100 a year. It's a
That's extreme
poor
poverty.
nation.
That's extreme poverty.
And it's going to remain poor with Donald Trump and his minions at the top.
So here's the deal. You guys were supposed to come back to Congress this week. Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader, said that you all were going to work on the issue of healthcare. This knocks healthcare, Jeff Epstein, all off the table. Am I correct?
Yeah, January 6th,
January
50th
6th is
anniversary.
Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, knocks all of that out. This is it's an emergency situation, and it's a dangerous situation that America finds itself in. And from the standpoint of global security, it's extremely disruptive. You know, the Monroe Doctrine is what we're going back to. That doctrine from the 1800s had to do with America ruling in its sphere of the world and letting other superpowers rule in their sphere of the world. And so what we have is pretty much an unmistakable message to China that it's okay for you to go in and seize Taiwan just like you did Hong Kong.
Mm.
And then it says to Putin that you are in position to proceed in Ukraine and past Ukraine, other sovereign nations in Europe.
If what Donald Trump did following the skies, he should have actually unseated Putin for what he's doing instead of Maduro. But that didn't happen. It's
Well,
just, go ahead.
yeah, they talk about Maduro being a
But
illegitimate leader, but
and
what is Putin?
and all that stuff. Yeah.
Putin is an illegitimate leader as well, but you deal with him as if he's got something hanging over your head, which I do believe he does, and whether or not that's related, whatever Putin is holding over your head has to do with the Epstein saga or not. I do not know, but your point is that okay, Putin, it's just like Maduro, illegitimate leader, but you're not going to go and invade his country
Right.
and kidnap him.
Right.
In fact, you're going to support him and act like he's somebody that you look up to.
So I want to drill down on this in the short time we have. Again, December 31st has come and gone. Donald Trump said that he was working on healthcare costs. Americans' healthcare prices have now doubled, and that's not the focus. The focus is now occupying Venezuela. Hakeem Jeffries was trying to come back this week to focus in on healthcare and trying to extend and expand the subsidies for ACA, the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. Now that's off the table. More money coming out of your pocket to pay for something that other countries give you for free. And now also, I'm waiting to hear from the international community because this is against international law. I'm waiting to hear what the UN has. I'm waiting to hear what everyone has to say because Donald Trump has pushed the envelope off the table and stomped on it. What do you think about what's going to happen internationally? Have you talked to anyone?
No, I've not had the opportunity to discuss my views with anyone uh, before actually speaking with you. So all of this is kind of
It's fresh. It's
yeah,
new.
it's fresh and it's authentic. And I
Yeah.
look forward though to engaging in dialogue with my colleagues and with other people just out and about in society about what is happening now. Um, yeah, I mean,
And I'm so glad that you put that fine point on the beginning of the conversation. You at the barbershop, a place where a lot of politicians find out what's really happening in the streets because everything comes to the barbershop, believe it or not. It comes to the barbershop and the beauty salon. And for you to say the black male barbers, some of them who voted for Trump, saw this and felt this was wrong. That's saying a lot in the land of Georgia. Now, I'm going to tell you what Greg Meeks, the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said about this. Greg Meeks of Queens, New York. He says, let's be clear. Nicolás Maduro is an illegitimate leader, but using the U.S. military to attempt regime change in a sovereign foreign nation without approval from Congress, without a defined objective or plan for the day after, and without support from our allies risks entangling the United States in an open-ended conflict in Venezuela that could destabilize the entire region. This action is also a violation of international law and further undermines America's global standing. Congress must reassert its constitutional role before the escalation leads to greater instability, chaos, and unnecessary risk to American lives. What is the role that you have to assert, sir?
Well, I think yeah, we have to, well, I mean, I'd like to speak for all of my colleagues in the House, but unfortunately, I can only speak from a Democratic perspective because you certainly can't rely on Republicans to uphold our Article One authority and position in U.S. government. Uh, it has become a whatever Trump says goes uh, legislative body. So I can't say that we need to come together or we will come together and demand oversight, briefings, and um, and updates, regular updates on what's going on this, because I know that the Republicans will not do it. But that's exactly what we need to do. And Democrats, I'm sure, when we go back, we will be demanding oversight. We'll be demanding briefings, and we will be asking tough questions of this administration. We'll be asking for members of the State Department, the Defense
Mm-hmm.
Department, which they have now renamed the Department of War, the military. We will be demanding that folks come to Congress and explain what is happening. We don't know what is going on the ground right now.
Yeah.
It's just
Under the War Powers Act, Congress is supposed to be notified within 48 hours. So it's going to have to happen soon. And also, we have to remember Democrats and Republicans are not happy about this. Democrats and Republicans. This is a bipartisan upset, and your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene is very upset as well in Georgia. She's basically out. But at the end of the day, we have to see how this plays out. We are now going into a reoccupation of another country for oil, for profit, and we're taking over. And I want to leave. If you have, do you have anything else you'd like to add, sir?
yeah. I'd love to just leave you with this. As I got up from the chair at the barbershop, and after the press conference had ended and the TV had cut off, the first song that came across the
Speakers.
system,
Mhm.
yeah, was Rick Ross. Every day I'm hustling,
Oh,
and
Lord.
so then everybody started talking about how Trump is hustling, and and how he must listen to Rick Ross was the last thing I heard as I was leaving.
He's a New York hustler, and he's always been. And that's what people fail to remember. He is a New York hustler. Before he was ever anything of celebrity or celebrated, he was a hustler in New York, hustling housing, etc., and leaving us out. So we have to remember that who you are always stays with you, and it shows up at some time. But I want to leave you, sir, with this, and I thank you for that. That's very interesting that you say that. This is from Kweisi Mfume, Congressman of Maryland, who sits on oversight and government reform. He says Donald Trump's illegal invasion of the sovereign country of Venezuela without military provocation should anger every American and every member of Congress. Trump was elected to run America, not Venezuela, with everyday people struggling to find a way to pay for increasing health care costs, higher grocery bills, and home heating bills. We don't need a gangster president who spends time invading another country but refuses to take care of American problems first. Ooh, you all. Ooh,
And Quincy, he said it all.
yeah.
He said it all. Yeah.
You got to laugh to keep from crying.
That's right.
Sir, thank you for always answering the call when I call. This is a major moment. This is history. It's not even a year in yet with this president. January 20th at noon will be a year. This week, January 6th, is the anniversary of the insurrection to overthrow the government for him to stay. So this isn't new to Donald Trump. He's tried it before. Remember January 6th? You were there January 6th, right? You were hiding. You ran out, right?
Mhm. And now the chaos is global. The insurrection is global. The cruelty and corruption is global. And the security of the world is under a severe threat.
So, and I know this might sound funny, but I wonder if Al Green is going to try to start impeachment proceedings again, and I wonder if you guys will join in this time.
Well, I voted for it last time, and I believe the people are clamoring for it, despite the fact that it has no chance of passing. Uh, but just to do it um, gives people comfort in knowing that we're trying to do something to get rid of this guy who is causing so much pain and suffering for the American people with no end in sight. Our pocketbooks are getting lighter, his is getting heavier. The transfer of wealth from the regular people to the billionaires, including Donald Trump, is worsening. People see it, they feel it, and the more that they see it, the angrier that they will become.
Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia, thank you so much for spending time with me on this historic moment, the
Thank you.
invasion of Venezuela and the occupation of Venezuela by Donald John Trump, the 45th and 47th President of the United States. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.